Yo, what up, mate? Yeah, I slept in today. The ad's gonna start here in a minute, mate. I'm gonna go microwave some food while the ad's playing, and then we'll jump into the game. I'll be right back. But yeah, I slept in today. My wife came in, I rolled over, looked at the clock, I was like, it's midnight. Oh shit, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you're in an ad right now, so I'll wait for the ad to be over. Oh, you're not in one? Oh, okay. Yeah, like it's just some days when we run errands, mate, I stay up way later than I normally do. It's like I work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., right? So on my off days, I tend to try to stay on roughly the same schedule. But on the days that I don't work, we go out and we do grocery shopping. Maybe we go to a couple other stores. We hang out for a little bit. We do lunch, stuff like that. And usually I'm home by like 11, 12 o'clock in bed, fall asleep around 1, 2 o'clock, which is way later than I normally fall asleep for work. When I fall asleep for work, it's like 10, 11 o'clock, right? But normally it's a lot later. But today, we didn't even get into the house because we did some stuff outside because we were like turning the water back on after winter and messing with the sprinklers and things like that. And then I get into the house and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon and I still had to take a shower and I had to get comfortable. I had to watch an episode or so of my show, just kind of relax. And by the time I got to sleep, it was like 3:30 in the afternoon. So the wife just, so on days like that, she just lets me sleep in a little longer. Cause I'll sleep until she wakes me up. That's the problem. Hardly ever do I actually just wake up on my own, and I'm just awake. Normally, I wake up, I toss or I turn, I go piss or something, and I go right back to bed. But well, here's the weird part: is normally like on my off days, right? I'll wake up because I have to pee, or I'll wake up because like the dog or the cat, or I toss and I turn or whatever, and I go right back to sleep. But it's not a big deal. But on days that I work, I have anxiety, so what ends up happening is I'll wake up to pee. I'll go to sleep at like 10 or 11, and I'll wake up to pee at like 1 or 2, and then I just lay there and I can't go back to sleep. And I had to be up at 5. So it's like I got like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and now I'm just chilling. And I'm just up from then until I go to work. And then I've gotten like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and now I gotta like work 12-hour shift. Kind of awful, not gonna lie. Those are the bad days for me. All right. All right. So we officially moved our house yesterday. The house is not too far from where we live. Right. We were able to put all our chickens and stuff in here. So hour and a half. Yeah, man. Sometimes that shit just sucks. Like not much you can do about it either. But what up, Tover? But yeah, we went to like Sam's Club, Costco. We got pizza at Costco. Um, went to another grocery store to get some other stuff. And then, we got home. We took our car for oil change as well. So that had to get done today. And then we got home, and then we were doing with the sprinkler system because, we had to turn it all back on. And then I had to check all of them, make sure nothing was broken, everything was working properly. I had to replace the sprinkler head. So nothing too crazy. Just had to do a handful of things. And then I took a shower and went to sleep. And then I just woke up at 12 o'clock. Got out of bed at like 12:30 because me and the wife were just chatting about, you know, the rest of her day. And then I microwaved some pizza. Started the dishwasher, fed the cats and the dog, and yep, jumped on the stream. Husbandry 38. Let's go. Work was exhausting today, as usual. Yeah, and sometimes like not that I'm not saying your job's bad or anything, but I remember when I used to work at like a more I worked at a job where I always just was tired when I got done with the day, and I didn't last very long. Like I lasted a couple of years, and I was just like, bro, I need to find something else, something that I don't dread going into work. Cause like I'd wake up like, oh, it's time to go to work again. Like I didn't really mind it while I was at work, But like when I would get like done with work, I'm like, God, I'm glad that's over. And I'd go home and I'd relax and everything. It's just like I feel like that just drained me so much, like dreading to go to work, which is what forced me to like find a new job. It's so dreadful. What? That's so weird, Tover. He wanted a raise. That's funny. That's good. I like it. I like it. I want some more of it. So we're a little late today to check in this stuff, but it's fine. We won't be able to claim another one at the end of the stream. And it wasn't able to yesterday either, but I wish the house was a little closer to this place so I can get Alter XP from doing this. One thing that is annoying about this game, which I hope they fix, is if you have an altar level 4, because in order to go to altar level 5, you have to pay premium currency to level it up to 5. When you have maxed out altar XP, it just keeps popping up ultra XP, ultra XP, ultra XP, ultra XP. Every time you get XP, bro, these disappeared on me. And so did these. Dude, this is bullshit, dude. This is bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. Plants should last more than 24 hours. Just fucking absolute horseshit. What did the evil chicken lay? Deviled eggs. That's good. That's a good one. Yeah, dad jokes are fucking so good. So pissed, dude. These fucking public plots, I don't know why they disappear. Like, I think I need to start planting some at my personal property to just see if they're disappeared here. Oh shit. They disappeared here, but they're not disappeared at my personal plot. Then I know there's something wrong with these plots. But I think it would be a little skewed because my house is in the desert now, and this place is not. All right. Just getting so annoyed that this is like the third time it's happened. And if you what's even more annoying, Tover, the cucumbers in the small plot were still there. So why do the cucumbers in the small plot that I planted at the same time still exist, but the two big plots do not? Just so fucking stupid. The problem is it's not like an actual public plot though. Like it's not like other people can see them. Because if you look at the bottom right, it says my character's name and then what mound it is, right? The mound is the name of the plot, which is 33. But it has my name basically determining that I own it and it's my instance of this plot. Because everybody can own every plot in the game. Everybody can own every house in the game. But everybody has their own instance of each house and each plot of land. So there's no way someone should be able to access my plot of land and be taking my plants. That's just weird. Like maybe if I was on a PvP server and plundering was a thing, but I'm playing on a PvE server, so there should be no plundering. You know what I mean? Like that's just fucking dumb. Doesn't make sense why. Like this time it wasn't even the transition between fall and winter. Because that's what fucked it up the other two times is when it transitioned from fall to winter, came and checked my plants and they were gone. This time it was just I don't even fucking know what it was. Maybe it was summer to fall. They just went poof. I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense.
Would you like a cup of water? Because you look thirsty as fuck right now.
Oh, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Like I've tried Googling it, Tover, and I found two conflicting pieces of information. One is when plants run out of water, they perish. And that the two parts of information that I found after that was perished plants can be harvested for reduced EXP and only worms. And then I found the other part that said when they perish, they go poof. That's the two pieces of information I found. So I've never seen a perished plant that I can actually harvest, but I have had my plants go poof. But what's weird is when I check my plants after they've been down, right, for like 10, 12 hours, they still have like 70% of their water available, right? So how do they, after like 10 or 11 hours, only using 30% of their water, like their total water, how does it go from that to 0 for another 10 hours? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they consume that much more water? Does the water consumption like escalate when it gets past a certain like threshold or something? I just don't understand how it can go from using 30% in 12 hours to using like another over 70% in another 12 hours. And like I said, the only way I can really like tinker with this is to like plant them in like plots here and then plots on my actual house. See if there's a difference. The only thing I can think of. 'Cause from people I've talked to, they say they don't have this problem. They say oh yeah, you can easily just wait a day to claim them. You know, it's fine. It's easy. Never had a plant, you know, need water, blah blah blah. Never had to water a plant before. But yet I'm losing plants all the time. I just don't fucking understand how I'm having such problems. And then Thor did make a comment that he says maybe these plots are a little different because I think he does his on his actual house plot and he's never had a problem with it. But I also don't think some people wait 24 hours to check their plants. I think most people log in before like a 12-hour period or something, you know. The problem with me is like I'll plant them now, right? And then by the end of my stream, they're not ready, so I get off the computer and I don't come back until roughly around the time I planted them the last time. So they've been down for like 20-ish hours. And most people log in before it's been 20 hours to check on their, their plants and stuff like that. So they don't actually let it last as long as sometimes I do. I just don't think that I think a plant should last 24 hours. Like that simple. Because there are times that people log in once a day. They log in, they plant their plants, they play for an hour or two, maybe three. Maybe do like a couple PvP things before the plants are actually ready to be harvested. They log off and they come on the next day. So if your plant can't last 24 hours, or I would say at least 30 hours just to be safe, then you need to revamp your system. Now, I'm okay with there needing to be a watering system, but it should be like the animal system where in order to harvest the plant or whatever it is you're doing, it needs to be watered. If it runs out of water, it needs to be watered before you can harvest it, basically. Just like the animals. If the animals are hungry, you can't harvest the animal until you feed it, right? It should be the same system. It shouldn't just perish to nothing if it runs out of water. It's just an annoyance. It doesn't need to be part of a game. It's just like what we talked about before. Is like you want your game to succeed, get rid of the tedious, annoying shit, and your game will do much better every single time. All right, so one of these doesn't make sense. Lack of maintenance. Leaving farming plots empty for extended periods of time can cause them to disappear. What do you mean? They're empty because they disappeared, you dumbass. Here's the thing, too. This right here, Tover. This right here. Manage water. Ensure crops are consistently watered to prevent premature death, which can sometimes result in only receiving worms instead of crops. This is the problem. I'm not even getting this as an option. It's just dead. Yeah. The worker system. I can't wait for the worker systems. Reuse the interactive prompt to remove dead, rotten, or decayed plants. I don't even get that. They just go poof. So This is just irritating. I don't like the problem is it's not all the time either, Topher. Like that's the weird part. It was fine for like the last 3 or 4 days. Yeah, I've been waiting for the worker system over. The worker system was gonna make things a lot easier because then you can plant things and you can put things down or whatever, and you can have workers tending crops and animals and stuff. So I don't know if you can do it on rented plots. We'll have to test that. But you just let them work it, and that way like I don't know if they'll harvest the farm plots, but they might at least like water them if they have water available to them. Right. So if they can at least water them, then it'll prevent them from perishing while they're matured, while you're offline. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. What my assumption is, Topher, is the plant's fully mature, and for some apparent reason, on like a seasonal change or something, there is this like rapid consumption of water, right? Which, since they're already mature and then they run out of water, they have a timer to harvest them before they perish, right? Before they just completely disappear. Like they're like, once they run out of water, they die, but then they have like a timer before they disappear. And I think that whole process is somewhat, I mean, I wouldn't say sped up. I think the water consumption is being sped up during the seasonal change. Like it consumes like a chunk of water when it changes seasons, and that's why it's going from like 70% down to 0 in a really fast like situation where I can I like yesterday when I logged off, they still had like 70% water. So I planted them at like midnight, and at like 5 o'clock in the morning, they had 70, like more than probably 70% of the water left. And so they should have, in theory, still had water come me logging in today, and I should have been able to harvest them. So the workers being able to water them if they get below a certain like watering threshold would fix that one aspect where they would still be able to be harvest because they don't run out of water. So I mean that's one system that will alleviate some aches and pains, hopefully. But if the rapid decay system that people have been reporting that happens every once in a while is happening, then the workers aren't going to change it unless the workers can harvest them when they mature. If the workers can harvest them once they mature, then that could fix the problem as well, because the second they mature, they could just harvest it, and then all the materials are either on the worker or they ought to get placed into like a worker's chest or something. That would be a cool little system, because then like you don't have to worry about it, like them being watered. You don't have to worry about them decaying or anything like that. Okay, I was oh no. So like I said, that would in theory fix the problem as well. On. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get any more in here. I'm not gonna tinker with this. It's not worth my time. Cucumbers. So like I said, the worker system will fix some of the problem for sure, and that's basically, like I said, what we're waiting for. Once that becomes a thing, then we shouldn't have too many problems. The problem I think we'll run into the most though is if we can't use it on rented plots, that means we're gonna have to use it on our home plot, and that's gonna be a little bit of a problem because uh farms and animals all count towards the total count of items being placed on a house. So the more farms and animals you place on an altar, the less storage chests and crafting benches and things that you could have. So it will definitely take up more space, causing me to have to make my guild. And if anybody wants to join the guild, they won't have access to any of the property stuff. I'll have to deny access to using any of the property stuff, so I can that way, and good conscience, say that I have actually maintained my Ironman status without people helping me, kind of thing. Ooh, you think you're gonna get the Onyx Coral statue? Nice. I haven't looked at mine yet. It does remind me, I do have the game open on the other screen. Wait, oh, I did harvest cucumbers. Okay, so I have to, okay, so we're gonna run around, we're gonna take a picture of everything, and we're gonna start our token farm really quick. All hail the orb today? I don't know what that is. Yeah, man. I don't know. I wish I was a little bit like a little bit more like G when it comes to streaming. He's a lot more entertaining. Um, so it's like I feel like his community enjoys watching him play anything just because he's a very entertaining person. He's funny, he's entertaining, he interacts well with his stream. But I know I'll never be that kind of person, so I can envy him all I want, but at the end of the day, there's nothing I can really do to actually match his personality. So I just be me, you know? I can envy somebody all day, but it doesn't mean anything. I just gotta be me and accept the fact that I am who I am and I am how I am. All it boils down to. Alright. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 today. Alright. Let's put everything back. Grab as much as we can. Here. All right. This here. All right. So we got. Whoa! What is that? Oh, that's from today's login. I was like, what the hell? All right. All right. So we're gonna have to sell. Hmm. I'm trying to move some stuff around. Um. Yeah, we're gonna have to sell the seaweed. Make space. And the cow needs to come down here. Get out the way. This needs to go be put into our house. Get rid of those. All right. So let's see what we're cooking with today. Um. So it looks like we need coal and obsidian. So I don't really care about mining stuff that much because that's easy to obtain. All right, so let's start with crops. All right, so we need 16 of these. Since I couldn't harvest crops today, I'm kind of pissed. 2 sets of potatoes. What is that? Rice? Yeah, soon here my farming stuff's gonna max out, and I'm gonna need to start cooking. So 2 sets of onions. And then, oh, those are onions. I think those are beets or something. Okay, these are onions. So we have 1 set of onions. Then a set of pumpkin. Set of peppers. Alright, so that takes care of this one. Now we need the meats and stuff. Alright, so we have 2 sets of beef, it looks like. One set of chicken. Two sets of eggs. Set of goat. 2 sets of pork. Okay, the meat is something we haven't been putting a lot of effort into, so it's kind of running dry. All right. And then we got harvestables and hunting. All right. But yeah, mate. The other day I remember Tover posting in the picture. It was like when the button came out in the nightmares. Tover was trying to hit the bombs to get the nightmare thing done, and he posted that he was fighting that boss, and he had like 9 or 10 squares unlocked. Like he had almost every square unlocked, and he was about to crush the thing. I remember that, Tover. That was crazy. I'm like, how the hell did he get so many unlocked? Just now? Nice. All right, let me finish this pizza, and then we'll get on to the token grind. It's a cat? Oh no! It does remind me, I have this open on the side. I haven't done my daily stuff yet. Oh no, I didn't register yesterday. Oh shit. Oh well. Alright. Alright guys, give me a sec. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't know what I did, bro, but like all week, my like my neck has been hurting here. Let me so like all week, my neck, like right here and into this like part right here, has been like kind of in pain. I don't know what you want to call it, but like it kind of feels like I'm stretching it, and it just feels like it's tight and it's stretching all the time. And then this morning I did a workout and my right arm just felt really weak compared to my left. Like I went to do curls and I had 55 pounds on there. And I went to curl with my right arm, which is my strong arm. And I only could do it twice. And then I switched to my left arm and I repped it like 10 times without a problem. I'm like, what the fuck? So then, I waited a little bit, tried again. Only did 2 with my right arm and 10 with my left arm. I'm like, okay, there's something fucking wrong here, right? And then I finished my workout. And then later on, I couldn't pick my right arm up above my shoulder. Like when I would get to my shoulder height, my arm would like completely dead stop. It's like, nope, that's as high as you're going. That was a struggle bus today. But I took a shower, rested the muscle a little bit, and I was able to slowly pick my arm up above my head later on in the day. Now I can actually move it a little bit. I think I just fatigued it, but it's still like painful in that area. And it's not like a sharp pain. It's not like a stabbing pain. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It's just like a dull ache nonstop. Unless I'm sitting on my computer. If I'm sitting in my computer chair, I don't feel it at all. But if I'm doing anything else, it's just irritating. To say the least. Um. No! God damn it! I instinctively just hit harvest all. I'm so pissed. I'm trying to fucking finish my logbook when we're not on one of those stupid ass. Since we don't have any of those gaming weeklies, I'm trying to work on my logbook. And that's the third time I've claimed all of my fucking plants. They're so fucking annoying because you can't turn that plant off. That's the only plant you can't disable. They're so stupid. So fucking dumb. So annoyed. Oh, I started bargain tagging the world's 7 bubbles. I finally got a couple of them to be able to be atomed. So I atomed this one. Kind of nice, 27% chance for more pages. This one's not quite ready. We did the Splunking efficiency one as well. And then we were working on this one right now. Well, we ran out of materials. Um, but yeah, it's not quite ready. It's like I said, we ran out of materials. There was another one we worked on a little bit. I think we were working on the Kettle Crook one. We were bargain tagging the Kettle Crook. Down on for that? Assuming you're talking about the guy wearing like the Scottish outfit with the cows in the background. Okay. All right. So not quite ready for Adams, but we can add him this one. All right. That takes care of that for the day. All right. And then the last thing I want to check is I'm pretty sure I'm done with these ones. Okay. So I need to do bloomies and golems. All right. Probably just AFK these ones. So. Oh.
Comes out of the fuck. See this? I got this selling corn. Comes out of the fucking ground. I couldn't believe it. You see that? It's made of chicken. It's actually made of chicken. You kill it, you got free chicken. You can sell it to people. Or don't kill it. Fucking eggs come out of their arses. Fucking hell. You know sheep? Bit woolly. It's wool! Pull it off, sell it, fucking grows back again. You cannot lose.
I mean, in theory, Topher, he's not wrong, right? The only problem with it is, yes, it grows back. Yes, the eggs are constantly being laid, and then, you know, you can always kill it later for more materials. But you gotta fucking feed them. You gotta feed them. You gotta, you know, take care of, like, you gotta clean up the area. So it's like, yes, it's quote unquote free constant money, but you have to maintain all of it. And the amount of time and effort and the little bit of money you have to put into the feed and like the maintenance and stuff, like, yeah, you make a profit, but the amount of hours you put in versus the amount of money you make, I don't think it's worth it. You could probably make more money sitting at home on your ass doing fucking IT help desk or, you know, cold calls to people for companies trying to get people to buy real estate or something. You know what I mean? Like where they give you a list of phone calls, like numbers to call, and you just call these numbers. Like you could probably make more money doing that in the amount of time you spend doing that and like effort and energy and whatever than you would doing farming. Farming is just so much work because you have to like you either A, you get the feed and stuff delivered to you, which costs more money, or B, you go and pick it up yourself. So you have to drive somewhere, you have to pick up this heavy ass feed, you got to put it in your truck, you got to bring it home, you got to empty it out of your truck, you got to feed them on a regular basis, you know, multiple times a day probably. You got to like, you know, clean up their coops, you got to clean up their areas, you got to maybe put some more like bedding down and all this other stuff. So it's like literally like a 12-hour a day job. And it's 7 days a week. There is no taking a break. I haven't even looked at what we need to do. I think we need rabbits. Well, could be wrong on the rabbit. But we're about to find out. Yeah, I'm just saying though, like Tover, like that's the only that's the only caveat to that video is like it's funny because like his reaction, the way he explains it is just so funny. But it's it's partially true, right? All right, so I think we do need rabbits. Okay, so we don't need this today. We do need this. So we need these three. So we need yeah, we need rabbits. Let's get the rabbits done. Then we need the squirrels for the squirrel tails. And then it looks like we need bears. I think those are bears. Deer, wolves, and hippo. We need penguins, but I've never found a penguin. Yo, Tover, if you got a second, do you think you can try and see if you can find anybody that says that they have found a penguin that's not in the cold region? Because the only place I have found one is up here, and this place is locked. And according to the list, it states that they're in Kinniquel, or whatever this place is called. And then this one says that they're in Kinniquel and the desert for all the other ones. Nothing says it's in the cold region, because the cold region's not even on this list. But supposedly the penguins are here, but you can even see the background is snow. There's no snowy area in the regular zone. And I wasn't able to find it last time I looked for it, like a week or so ago. We don't need turtles. We do need squirrel, and we need rabbit. So, like I said, if you do got free time, if you don't worry about it. I'll look it up later. I'm not gonna lie, Tover, if you grow up doing something and it's not dreadful to you, like take me for example. I didn't grow up doing it, but I went to the military and I, got out of the military and I miss it. I absolutely loved the structure and like the just the way the military operated and whatever, right? It just jived with me, right? I feel like your dad's probably one of those people that the farming life just works for him. Uh, oh, is there a penguin right there? Oh, oh, oh. Hold on. About to find out. According to this. Wait, where is that again? Where's that? What the fuck is. Supposedly it's like right here. Oh, there is! Yo, there's penguin! Fuck yeah, let's go! Okay. Thanks, Over. Such a random place for them to be. Such a random place. I'm just trying to see, are they anywhere else? Because I've been looking everywhere, but I just never thought they'd be over here because they're not. I mean, they could be warm weather penguins, but I'm assuming they're basing them off of cold weather penguins, and they're putting them in the cold zone. So I just assume that there wouldn't be any in like the deserts or the like the regular forest areas. But obviously they're gonna be near water, right? And it's gonna be like ocean water. That's why I was always checking the ocean fronts when I was looking for them. I just never found any. All right, well, we have some. That works. At least we can actually do penguins now. Thanks for that. Yo, what up, Dig? What's going on, man? Appreciate you chiming in. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only place that is unlocked. There's tons of them in the cold weather area. I just find it weird that there is actually one place for them in the non-cold weather. Kind of crazy. All right, so we need. Okay, so we have enough rabbit. We need squirrels now. We need to get a bunch of tails. How's your day going, Dig? What you been up to today? All right, so we need 8 more tails. I'm gonna grab this. Actually, I don't know if I can grab that. I think I'm like too close to the city for that. But we do need herbs. We need hemp, sweet. I think the rest is desert. I'm pretty sure we can't grab this. Yeah. Well, we can get this squirrel. So here's what I think I'm gonna do, Tober. I think I'm going to plant some whatchamacallits? Some plants, not a lot. Like one of each plant probably at my house with my pigs and animals and stuff. And I'm going to let them sit for more than a day. And I want to see like if they are still harvestable or if they go poof or like what happens to them. Yeah, so that's because you're desynced. So a lot of times instead of relogging, what you can do instead is you can just cloud save and then log back in instead of closing the game and reopening. But sometimes closing the game is better as well because it allows for if there is an update or something like that. But cloud saving should be the only thing you need to do. All right, so we need to do bears, deer, and wolves. Here's the deer. The wolves are next to us as well. So we need 16 horns, or sorry, 32 horns, 16 wolf hides. And we need the hippos are really easy. I gotta check to see if the hippos leather is actually like a 1-to-1 ratio or whatever, if they're like comparable to like the other hides. Because you can get a lot of hippo hides in like a very short period of time because you get 2 hippo hides versus everywhere else gives you 1 hippo hide or gives you 1 hide. All right, so we're gonna get these deer. Wait, where's? I didn't get any hide from the deer. It did, but it would. Oh, there's one up here. I was like, where did it go? All right, so let's move this up, over. These over. Yeet. 80 boxes and got a golden berry premium helm. Nice. Yeah, I need a bunch. Need a bunch of stuff from the event. What just happened? Like what? Oh, so they rolled up to go into the building. I'm assuming to like park. She thought they were gonna rob her, so she chucks her purse. They're like, "Hey, here's your." That's funny. I mean, what she did makes a lot of sense, though. You know what I mean? Like, if someone rolls up on you and they're gonna try and rob you, throw your valuables. They're gonna go for your valuables. If that's what they're there for, they're gonna go for what they're there for. They're not gonna just. I mean, granted, they might still beat the shit out of you, stab you, knock you out, kidnap you or whatever they planned on doing as well. But if the only thing that they wanted was your purse, because you know there's purse snatchers, right? They run up, they grab your purse, and then just run off, and they want no interaction, right? If that's what they're there for, they're going to leave you alone. Because they're just gonna go and grab your purse and just be like, all right, well, I don't gotta fuck with you. All right, sweet, let's keep going. Free purse, you know what I mean? Like that's what they're thinking. Wait, what's this? Do I want to know? Yo, that is sick. Wait, what is that, Topher? Did you find one? What is it called? I want to pull that up. I want to show it to the wife. That's sick. I wonder what other like slideshows you can get other than like the universe. You know, like the galaxy stuff. Oh, I already closed it, and I don't like clicking on comments. That was sick though. Like, Edge, take a look at this. I honestly don't like. I just. Problem is, I don't like moving this over to the main screen. I'm not gonna pull it over. I don't like moving it over, but it's fucking sick. The image was so cool looking, Topher. Like how crystal clear like the stars and everything looked, and the detail on like the moon was like really sick. Yeah, it's a Reddit post that he posts. I don't like pulling Reddit over to the stream because sometimes it pops up my email and it's just really annoying. But it's sick, bro. It's like kind of like a small little projector that, yeah, you plug into the wall or whatever and you put a little slide in it. It's kind of like those I wouldn't call it a kaleidoscope, but you know those like kid things where it's like all plastic, you put a little twisty wheel in it, you click it, you look through it, and you know you see little images. It's kind of like that, but instead it projects it onto like the ceiling or whatever. I really like it. That's pretty awesome. You know, that right there, Topher, would be a great gift for like if you knew someone that had a kid, depending on what other images you can get, right? Because like if you can get some really cool images to display on like the ceiling or things that they enjoy, that would be a really cool kid gift. Because it's kind of like a nightlight, but instead, like, because you know, like some kids, they like to have like the stars on their ceiling that glow. This would be a much better option. Because then you're not sticking anything to the ceiling. You're not like, you know, possibly causing any like damage to things, and they can be removed at any time. And a dinosaur, dinosaurs go roar. 15 to $60. But I mean, I'm wondering if it's can it be more than just Galaxy though? That's so sick. It's like a nightlight, but like trippy. It's like you're on acid. It looks like you're on acid. I mean, I agree with you, Edge. It's like kind of reminds me of like a fad thing. Oh, this is the one we were looking at. 2-in-1 Galaxy projector. This thing right here. This is the thing we saw. It's like a USB plug with a little like hard cabled, like adjustable, pointable, whatever. It's not like you place it down and you sit there. You can plug it into wherever. This is the one we were looking at. That one's cool. For $21, I mean, it's got kind of bad reviews, so. It takes forever sometimes, Dig. Like I said, you don't have much drop rate, so. Yeah, it's literally the drop rate problem. you got to work on your drop rate a bit. So there's a bubble for drop rate, and then obviously I think there's golden food as well, and a couple of miscellaneous things. But yeah, this is sick. I would like to see this with more than just galaxies. I am curious, does it move as well? Like, does it spin or like twist or turn, or is it just stagnant? It looks like it's just stagnant. I think the one thing that would be cool about it is if it actually rotated or something. So it wasn't just like a stagnant picture. I think that would make it a little bit better. But I do like the crystal clear, like, image quality of it. It looked really nice. Yeah, because if we like look at, I think Toolbox has a drop rate tab that'll tell you other places you can get drop rate from. Uh, Character. Drop rate. Yeah, so if you go to your toolbox and you click on drop rate, these are all the things that can give drop rate, right? So the base, luck can give you a small amount. Talents, I don't even know what that one is, but some classes I think have a talent for it. Post office box, very minimal. Ovals, obviously. Bubble, obviously, there's, like I said, there is a bubble for it. Cards, helpful. There is a shrine for it. I'm guessing there's a prayer for it. I don't remember. There's a sigil for it. It's kind of meh. Shinies, whenever you get to shinies. Arcade bubble, or the arcade upgrades. Star signs. Your guild. Crystal custard, which is a pet you should possibly have. Quenchy is another one. Santa snake, another one. Clammy, another one. These are all pets. Equinox upgrade. There's a stamp for it. I guess there's a tome upgrade for it. Your owl should be a good one. Summoning, you should be able to work towards. Yeah, there is a golden food. There's an achievement. Land ranks. I don't know. This one might be a weekly bonus. Schematics from Whole. Grimoire from DB. Your Bolt upgrades. Crop Depot. Interesting one. I think this is from. It's from your farming, but I think it's from the amount of like plants you've unlocked or something. I don't remember exactly, but it's a scientific thing, I think. Monument, which is whole again. Measurements, which is whole. Emperor, which is the world 6 boss farm. E-font set you should have. Exotic market is more farming that you haven't got to. Friends bonus. If you don't have max friends bonus, Dig, you can ask Topher. Topher might have like a really good friends bonus for you. Legendary talents, which is the world 7 you haven't got to yet. Spelunking, world 7. Research, world 7. Chips, you can get some, I guess. Gem bundle, you're not gonna have. Ninja mastery, you can get eventually, and then you got equipment, gallery, and hat rack. So, gallery, you're not there yet. Hat rack, you're working towards. And then the multiplicative sources, which get even worse. So, working on your siege breaker to get drop rate multi. So this is when you use your arcane guy on a map, you can increase the drop rate of that map permanently. But that's something for later for you. Card multis when you get cards. Glumbro drop rate for when you get to World 7. Tome multi. Minehead World 7. Prisma charms. Pristine charms that we were talking about. Mali. I think there's a pet. This is another pet, and this is another pet. So, like I said, if you want to look at most of them, that's like the best place, in my opinion, to look for them. Because they just list all of them one at a time, and then you can Google each one of them separately. Yeah, the no salts will be a big bottleneck to craft 10 sets of them, Dig. Jellyfish? Thanks. That looks so sick. Can I like fast forward this? One thing I will say is I don't like how bright the okay, I was gonna say, I don't like how bright the light is before it's being used, but then like when you switch it, it dims that light so it projects it forward. Oh, big ass jellyfish. Yeah, that's sick. The moon's pretty dope. Okay. I don't understand the big circle on oh, that's his plate on the ceiling. I was like, why is there a big circle on the moon? Yeah, interesting that there was a random jellyfish. Yeah, so basically what you need to do, Dig, is just check it. I think I closed mine. If you go to your friends buffs, you'll see the buff that you have currently. Is it bigger or smaller? Because last time he sent it to you, he might have had a smaller number. You know, he might have had a smaller PP from last time. All right. His PP might have grown a little bit since the last time he gave it to you. Oh, did you do any tinkering today, Edge? Sorry, I got up really late, so I couldn't catch you before I got on stream. Ooh, what kind of tinkering did we do? Let's hear it. Also, since you have a little bit more capacity to chat right now before you know take off, um, what were your thoughts or opinions, if you have any, on what I was saying about my character, my tinkering of my character that I was thinking about doing? Do you have any thoughts or opinions on that? You were going to go to bed. Did you not go to bed last night, Edge? Like you said you were going to? You get sidetracked again? Only 10% opinions? All right, let's hear it. Yeah, because like I said, I'm thinking about dropping the cast on stun abilities, the two, like the Unearth and the Detonate Dead, which gives me two free open force 4 links, which I have no idea what to do with. And then juicing into RF itself using the other shield. Till 3 hours later. Jeez. Like I said, the shield's gonna be expensive. Right? It's an expensive shield. And I think to really make it work, I need to get in the Dorns and jewel slots. But with that in mind, I think I also need to drop all my damage node passives and put in large voices for more jewel slots. Which means I need to take up 3 cluster slots and I need to get 3 large voices. I have 1. I need 2 more large voices so I can get a total of 9 more jewel slots. So that way, if I can get an 88% adorns, that way I can get like a 10%. I can get 10. That's what's 90 is 80% more max life from those, and probably like another like 100% more fire multi out of it. Yeah, just laying there sucks. Yeah, just juicing art. I'm just wondering if it's gonna be more damage because, like I said, I'll end up having to drop all my other nodes, right? I'll have to drop like my fire damage nodes, my LE damage nodes, and any of those other like nodes to juice into the large clusters to get more jewel slots. So the jewel slots have to outmatch the damage that I'm taking away. So like I said, I want to tinker in POB first, and then if it looks promising, then actually do it in the game. So let's look. All right, so we have enough. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have this, we have this, we need the bear, we have this, this, and this. We need the penguin, hippo, and bears. All right, where the fuck are the bears again? All right, hippos, bears, and penguin. So let's do the penguin first, because they're way the hell up here. Wait, is this where they're at? Yeah, it's way up here. Okay. All right, we are on a 35-minute run. Okay, hold on a tick. How about we teleport closer first? Yeah, let's teleport here and then run the rest of the way. Okay, I didn't realize we were that far away. Hold on a tick. Yo, what up, Skills? What's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping in. Hope you're doing well. What you been up to? Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, I think you gave him Piggy like a while back. All right, let's see if there's anything on the way there. We don't need any of the deers, the ostrich. Need the penguin. I think we just run right over the hill. So we'll just do this. I'm not seeing anything else we need, so we'll just make the run and then run right over the mountain. Yeah. So I mean that's the best thing you're gonna be able to do for now, Dig. Obviously, if you can get more of the pets that you might be missing, or drop rate pets, you could probably go to like G's Discord and post in like his thing because I think they have like a pet trading thing where people give pets away occasionally and stuff. There's probably some other places you could probably try and get some free pets, but the pets will be a big thing for you. Working on your hole will be a big thing, like measurements and other things like that. Um, yeah, pushing your hole, that's a really good one. So if you haven't put any effort into your hole, make sure you're working on your hole. You're always working on your hole. I know, man. You got to make it bigger and deeper, you know? But yeah, work on the hole. Obviously, keep pushing for World 7. Work on that one bubble. It's a yellow bubble. I don't know if you have yet, but there's a drop rate bubble. You don't need to level it too much because obviously diminishing returns. But the yellow bubble, this one, the second one, it takes the golden fish thingies, right? So no, not in the hole, out of the hole. You need to go to bed now. All right. Yo, I'm gonna be working the next couple days, Edge. So if you wanna PoE tinker, let me know. I'll be around. Like I said, I need to farm some currency, obviously, because the shield is gonna be expensive, the adorn's gonna be expensive, and the jewels are gonna be expensive if the POB tinkering actually looks promising. If it looks promising, we're gonna do it. I feel like this looks a little snowy, but it's more rocky. I'm just curious on like why this one actually works. Like, why are they actually here when they're cold weather penguins? This doesn't make sense. But have a good night, Edge. I appreciate you for being here, hanging out. If you're gonna lurk, I appreciate that as well. If you're not, that's fine as well. Get some sleep. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you, man. Also, anybody here that hasn't done it already, go and check out Edge at some point. He likes to stream lots of little things. He likes to play with his beavers. You know, he likes to play like the survival games, like the new one, Wind Rose or whatever, and Shrouded, the spacey things and stuff. You know, city builders, whatnot else. So if you're interested in any of that, or just want to go and watch a squirrel hold his nuts, pretty good stream. I like hanging out there a lot. Yeah, you're gonna love my nuts. Anyway, have a good night, Edge. I'll talk to you later. Oh, yo, look at this house. This house is actually kind of sick. They built it kind of like on the water, and they use stilts and stuff to like make it somewhat realistic. It's kind of sick. This looks like a hey, Edge. Are you in this game? You playing in the game? This looks like a house you would build. The stairs are all off. Okay, okay, okay. Make sure. Oh, penguin. I really feel bad about killing penguins. Penguins are like one of the cutest, my most favorite animals that aren't dragons. I kind of feel bad. Not gonna lie. A penguin just randomly keel over. Just me, are these penguins just randomly dying because of this guy's house? He placed it on their spawn location, so it's killing the penguins. Bro, this is stupid. The penguins die when they enter his house. So it's literally completely ruined one of the penguin spawns. That's dumb. I mean, I could try channel 1. I'm just saying, like, I don't think the penguins need to be over here. They need to move this spawn to here. Because if they can wander and die from entering his house plot or spawn in his house and die, they need to move the plot over here, or they need to move this whole ring over to the left more. They need to fix that. That's just a really bad design. Night drive? I don't know. I personally don't like driving at night because there's a lot of idiots. I mean, technically there's a lot of idiots not at night. I try to stay off the road. People are just dumb. Between drunk people, high people, stupid children, and fucking racers and idiot drivers and just impatient piece of shit people, I just avoid being on the road at any time. Ooh. That might, I mean, I don't know. Like, my curious question, Edge, is that, like I said, I don't want to kind of keep you, but like, with your reaction to Eve, are you jaded against all games like that or just Eve itself? Because if you're not jaded against the genre itself, then I would say totally get into it. Okay, so it's just the company. Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So I would say then that's probably a good uh opportunity for you. I would totally take the guy up on it, depending on the what kind of cuppage and light bulbage is required to make this happen. I would say it's worth it. All right, so we're done with penguin. We just need the hippos and the bears. The bears. All right, so there should be bears actually along this road somewhere. I thought I saw bears on this road. Bro, where are the bears at? The bears. Yeah, see, there's bears way up here. I gotta go that far though. Okay, so I think we're gonna go over there because I'd like to get another fast travel and unlock more of the game. So let's head down to the road and then we'll run down there. Last word of butchering? I haven't heard of that one. So yeah. So what I was thinking, Edge, is a lot of the builds that I was seeing, they're using General's Cry with the ability or whatever. Um, well, with a ability. So what some of them do, Edge, is that they use a two-hander and they have a six-linked auto exertion General's Cry linked to a skill, and then they have their own skill that they use personally, right? So that way their personal skill isn't being kind of scuffed by having to have General's Cry and auto exertion in it, so it's like not limiting the amount of damage that they can do. But this way it gives their generals a decent ability to use, and you still have a decent ability to use. There is 3 in total, UFO. There's the PvP one, and then there's the 2 PvE ones. Take those ones. So, like I said, like having like a 6-link weapon, so that way, you can use your General's Cry, and that giving them a scuffed version of a skill to use to increase your damage output with an auto exertion, while you're using your own personal skill with like mega juiced out like supports and stuff. It definitely be huge. We need hemp. Yeah, we need a bunch of hemp. Let's move the pig down, the goat down. Uh, yeah, we need the hemp. Not the basic hemp, but the other one. There's open world housing. So the way the housing works is it's channel based. So if you're on the PvP channel, the housing system in the PvP channel will be different than on channel 1 or channel 2, which is PvE servers. So if you put a house down on channel 2, your house is only on channel 2. If you put your house down on channel 1, it is only on channel 1. If you put it down on the PvP server, it is only on the PvP server. So the houses are different depending on what server you're on. The blue circles that you see with the blue flags are PvEs. So you can put your house there and don't have to worry about anybody raiding your towns or anything. But if you put them in a red circle, even on a PvE server, the red circles, bases can be raided by other people. So your base has to be defended, you have to protect it, people can steal your resources and stuff like that, like any other survival-based game. But if you're on a PvP server, I don't know if if the PvE circles prevent people from raiding your bases on a PvP server or not. That I haven't verified, but you're on a PvP server, so anywhere you go, you can be attacked. I don't know if they can raid your resources on the PvP server if you're in a PvE circle, but the circles are the locations of the houses. So this is where you start the game over here. These ones are usually full. They're in the starter zone. And then as you work your way out, you get more and more of the like locations unlocked. And then you kind of progress through the game. And then you got the desert ones, which I haven't even finished discovering. Then you got the new zone over here. You got this whole area all the way up and around and all of this in between. You have all of this all the way up to here. This area is currently locked, and I'm pretty sure this area is currently locked. But then there are islands. There's 9 islands as well. And I'm not 100% if there's, I don't think there's houses on the islands, but there might be. And those housing plots are for personal houses and for clan houses. So you can have both in the same area. Oh, is it on sale? Yo, Yo, 99 cents. You don't got the game, buy it today, boys. Also, UFO, if you don't have anybody else's code to use, if you want to use mine, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to. If you have any friends that are gonna do it and they don't have a code to use, just it doesn't matter whose you use. Just use a code from anybody you want to support, whether it's another streamer, a friend of yours, or whatever. Just use somebody's code before you make your first character, and using the code will give you 400 of the premium currency. And what it does for the person's code you use is for X amount of people that play for 5 hours, you accumulate like when I get to 5 players that have played for 5 hours, I'll get an extra 1,000, right? When I get to 20 players, I'll get an extra 2,000. But for each person that uses it, the person that uses it gets an extra 400 premium currency to use for whatever they want. Because the premium currency is actually really needed or necessary in the game. You can farm it in game for free, but before you make your first character, just use somebody's code. Just so you can get your 400 free premium currency. And like I said, use it on whoever you want to support. Doesn't matter who it is, because the more people they get to 5 hours, the closer they get to their chunks. I do it every day. I can show you if you give me just a minute. I'm actually in the middle of doing mine, but I'll show you in just a second. I actually took some screenshots here. Let me move it over. So there's NPCs in the cities. I can show you that in a second. But when you talk to them for a token exchange, they'll give you a list like this. It's like I print screened it, but it's like, hey, I need 16 rabbit hides, and I'll give you 8 tokens. I need 16 reflex tendons. I'll give you this. So and so. Then you got like the hemp guy for harvesting. You got the ore guy. You got the farmer. You got the husbandry guy. The wood chopper, and there's like, I think there's 9 in total. I do this town because this town is a circle. It doesn't matter what town you do it in. But you have the hunter for killing like peacocks, turtles, squirrels, so on and so forth. And then you got the harvester, which is, like I said, the hemp, which is what I'm doing right now, and a couple other plants and stuff. You got the animal keeper, you got the fisherman, you got the farmer, you got the miner, and then you got the lumberjack. And each one of them has 10 thingamajiggies every single day. Hold on. I'm trying to go and find the bears. Did I go too far? Okay. I'm looking for bears right now. Because mine today is I need 2 sets of bear hides. I know I saw them just a minute ago. Okay, there. Okay. So let's get running while we're talking. So yeah, so they have a 24-hour cooldown basically. So they reset on a specific time every single day, and you just turn in the resources they ask for. Like you talk to them, you have the resources in your inventory. You talk to them, they'll take them from you and they'll give you tokens. So you farm these tokens, right, from doing those NPC turn-ins, and for every 1,000 tokens you gather, you can then convert those 1,000 tokens right here. 1,000 tokens equals 100 premium currency. So you can farm the premium currency for free in the game. And what I would recommend, if you're not playing Ironman or solo self-found similarly to me, what you can do is you can just buy the resources from the auction house from other players. So if you don't want to, or let's say you're not a high enough hunting level to do like rhinos, for example, you can buy the rhino hide from another player. You only need like 16 or 32, it depends on how many times it procs. You buy a couple of them and you turn them in, you get your tokens. So you can do this with all of it. You can do this with the fishing, because like the fishing is kind of really time consuming. So maybe buy some of the fish to turn your tokens in for the day. You can buy some of the higher tier ores as well, so you get to the higher levels. Wood chopping, you should just do yourself. Really, really fast, really easy. Harvesting doesn't take long to get to 25, but if you don't like doing harvesting, once again, just buy what you're missing. You can buy literally all of it, turn them all in for your tokens every single day, and then do combat. You're gonna make more money combating every single day. Like 1 hour of combating is gonna make you more money than doing any other thing in the entire game, pretty much. Combat makes way too much money at high levels in comparison to everything else you can do in the game. So you can literally just combat for like 5-6 hours a day, and you'll have shit tons of money that you can just go to the auction house, buy whatever you need for your token turn in, and turn them in every day. And then you just go right back to your combat. So if you're like a PvP person, or you just like to grind PvE content and stuff like that, just stick to that. Turn your tokens in via using your currency you're making from your grinds to buy it from other players, instead of working about life skilling. Now, if you're like me and you like Iron Man, or if you like doing professions, you need to dabble in every profession at the same time. And not every profession, but you need to do all 5 of the gatherings. So you need to AFK and fish. You need to actively harvest, mine, wood chop, and hunting. Wood chopping, only do it when you need to do it, unless you're like leveling up other professions. But hunting, you need to level up all the way to 46. Technically, I would get all of your professions to 50 as fast as possible. But then mining has to go all the way to 75. Harvesting has to go all the way to 25, just so you can get all the points. And then you need to do husbandry, which means you have to capture these pigs and animals and pets and everything, to put them down, to harvest the materials for them, to kill them and butcher them on a regular basis. It's kind of time consuming. And then farming, same thing. You have to plant these seeds and you have to harvest them every 6 to 8 hours until you get down to level 60. And then it's like every 4 to 6 hours, something like that. And, you know, it becomes a job at that point. Yeah, so the what sparked my interest in this game, UFO, is it's like it's a couple of gamers that got together and be like, bro, I like so many things from so many different games, but every game is missing something that I like. And they're like, fuck it, let's just cram it all into one game. So it's like they took parts from every game they've ever played and they shoved it into one MMO. That's basically what it looks like they did. And it seems to somewhat work. Now, it does need polish. It does have a little bit of tediousness to it. It does still need some quality of life and some, you know, some refinement. But their current focus is to push out content and the rest of the systems for the game before they really polish things up. But they are still polishing, but not as much as I would like. Like, for example, there's one thing in this game that drives me absolutely up the goddamn wall, and it's the first and only game I've ever played in 20-something years that doesn't have this built in. But you can't hit escape and open up your game menu. You cannot open this with escape. It's the only game I've ever played that you can't do that. And you can't even close that window with escape. Fucking mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. That's what I'm saying. It's so odd, bro. Like, so fucking odd that that's not in the game. There's a couple other tedious things too. Like, for example, when it comes to your inventory, the only way to split stacks is you have to drag it down here into this little icon, to then have this window pop up, to then have to click on it to type, to then hit split for it to split it. That's the only way to split stuff. Now, what makes this tedious is if you're trying to pull stuff out of a storage chest or a bank, you have to put it from the bank or your storage into your inventory first, to then split it in your inventory, to then put the big stack that you don't need back into the bank or the storage. Very tedious, a lot of moving parts to do one simple action. Once again, totally stupid. Like I said, there's some tediousness, there's some dumbness, but take it with a grain of salt because it is relatively new, and like I said, it is a small company, right? It is a group of friends. From my understanding, supposedly there's one coder and 7 GMs that do like the QA and stuff like that. So it's one guy doing all the coding and the work, and his friends literally sit there and be like, yeah, man, you should do this, you should do that. So there's one guy coding all the bug fixes, the nerfs, the buffs, the extra content, the new stuff. He's doing everything, and everybody else is just like backseat, you know, telling them what to do. So take that with a grain of salt. But for $1, you 100% can't pass this game. What Dig said, for $10, you can't pass this game up. You will get $10 worth out of this game, even if you hate it. And for $1, you're 1,000% going to get your money out of it. Even if you just level to 50, you get your money out of it. And 50 takes you less than a day. One recommendation I do have for a UFO when you're getting into this game is the very first thing I would recommend that you do is just hard tunnel focus leveling and getting the quest done all the way to 50. The quest line stops at level 50. Once you're at level 50, the game is completely sandbox and there's no direction. You just literally do whatever you want. Bad game. I'm game swapped. Yeah. So that would be my recommendation. Now, when it comes to leveling as well, UFO, if you're playing solo or playing with a friend, it doesn't really matter. The goal is run around on your mount, grab a handful of mobs, pull them all together, and nuke them. Right. Your goal is you want to kill all the small mobs to open spawn locations for the elite mobs to spawn, because the elite mobs are what's going to give you all the XP you're looking for. Put it in perspective, a small mob might give you 20 XP. A 1-star elite mob will give you over 1,000 XP. A 2-star will give you 2,000 XP, and a 3-star will give you 4,000 XP. And when you get to the higher levels, those EXP numbers like transition higher. So it'll go from like a 1-star giving you 4,000, 2-star giving you 8,000, and a 3-star giving you 16,000, and then it keeps going up. So the starred mobs are where the XP comes from, but in order to get the star mobs to spawn, you have to kill a lot of the smaller mobs. And this is why, since mobs have a aggro range, which is very short, FYI, it's like from me to that bush, right? They're very short aggro range, but the distance that you can leash them is also very short. So you run in a very small circle to grab a handful of mobs in like a small area. So basically what you do is you like grab mobs at that red bush here, and then you'd run maybe to like those bushes, and you do a little circle, grab a bunch of them, and you run in a circle really quick to like kind of clump them up, and then you jump off your mount and then nuke them with your abilities, and then kill the remaining harder mobs. And that's literally a rinse and repeat process of how you grind EXP in the game. That's literally it. What it boils down to, if you go and watch anybody else's stream that's farming EXP, that's what they do. And that's the efficient, fast way to actually farm EXP. And it will not take you long to get to level 50. And like I said, just bum rush through the quest line. It's very fast. It's very easy. And once you're at 50, you can either get into more profession stuff, or you can get into you can just continue to you can get into professions. You can get into professions sooner if you want, but you can get into professions, or you could get into PvP. But I would say PvP is going to be rough at low levels, because you're going to be up against people that are higher level than you, that have higher gear, stuff like that. And what you're better off just grinding to like 90 plus. Obviously, getting to 100 is your ideal location, so you can get to level 100 gear. But leveling up, getting to higher levels to do PvP content is kind of what you're shooting for. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory past that point. All right, we needed a little bit of obsidian. There is dungeons, but they're literally mindless. But most of the game has to offer is PvP. Oh yeah. So I was gonna bring that up. So when you hit level 50, you're gonna have a quest that gives you a full legendary set, and you're gonna have a quest to give you a legendary weapon, and then legendary jewelry, like I have here. Not these two, but the rest of them. So you're gonna have a quest chain at 50 that's gonna give you a full level 50 legendary set. So what you want to do from there is you want to level them up to +3. No! Ad break! Why? It's fine. I'll wait for the ad to be over. Why you do this to me? Alright, I need to go back for bears. I didn't finish all the berries. All right, let's go back. All right, so we got the hemp out of the way. So that's at least one. The harvest was done. I still need the sweet root. I haven't really come across any. Usually by obsidian, but I didn't see any. Oh, there's one. Says there's 33 around here. I don't see any. I didn't say there's 33 and there's not a single one of them. I need 2 sets of bear hides. Alright, so let's look. We don't need this. We do need that, but can negligibly ignore. So we needed both of those. We did. Okay, we'll just. Need more of that. More of that. Actually, we don't even need this today. Oh, we do need. Okay. You back from the ad, UFO? All right, welcome. All right, yeah. So there is an enhancing system. I wouldn't say it's similar to BDO, but it has similar aspects. But basically you have to have like a forge and a couple other crafting benches and stuff, either in a house that you buy or a house that you craft yourself. Because you have to go to the bench to click the enhance button to then put the item in to give it the other items to then do the enhancement, unlike BDO where you can do it anywhere. Leveling things to level 3 is free. Well, not free, but it's safe. So you can safe level to level 3. Anything past the safe level, your item will degrade to nothing. It'll actually break and you have to get a completely new weapon. So the goal that most people say to do is once you get your level 50 gear from your quest, level it to level 3, your armor, your weapon, and your jewelry. It'll give you a lot of stats. Like a lot of stats. Like look at this is mine, okay? So you see the first number on the left where it says physical damage, not the left weapon, not where it says rookie staff, but on the axis itself, it says physical AP 393.8, and then it's got plus 94.5. That's a big jump in damage for just plus 3 levels that basically are free and are safe. So you do that for your armor to give you more defense and stuff, and you do that for your weapons to obviously give you more damage, and it helps you be able to farm faster. So then from there, once you get to 60, you can get 60 gear. Two ways, either farming dungeons or B, going into areas and AoE farming mobs down to get, gear. And I can show you that on the map in a second here. Those are the 2 ways you can go about doing it. And then once you get a full set of 60 gear, you can upgrade it to level 3 while you work towards your 70 gear. Rinse and repeat this process as you go up. I would say don't go past plus 3s because it's not really worth it money-wise. Some people do say that it's probably just easier to buy a basic like purple or legendary item off the auction house and then plus 3ing it that way. Yeah, it's a good game. One thing you should know is every town, right, has every major town, I should say, has farming plots that you can purchase, and they have houses you can purchase. You can purchase every farming plot in every house in every city. And it's a one-time purchase, and you never have to think about it again. So you can have a lot of houses, you can have a lot of farming plots that you never have to worry about. Like, I mean, you have to worry about, like, if you put stuff on the farming plot, you have to go and harvest them. It's not like BDO where they'll last indefinitely until 7 days go by and the farm just disappears. It's not like that. They have a water table. If the water runs out, they die and then they go poof, right? So you do have to check them like a couple times a day to make sure they don't go poof for the farming plots. But the houses, the nice thing about the houses is the towns have a storage just like BDO, but unlike BDO, you can't access the items from another town, right? So similarly to the old BDO style. Let me what am I missing? I have this. I need hippos. Hold on. Hippos should be down here. Let's run south. So the newer system with BDO, you can access town storage from any town, right? You can drop things wherever you want, whatever. It's with the Mangus or whatever. But with the old system, like if you were in Calpheon, you can only access stuff in Calpheon, vice versa with like Belly and stuff. That's how this game is. You can see the items in the other towns, but you can't actually pull the items out. So, and there's like a limited storage space like BDO. So, what you can do to alleviate the need, like, instead of increasing the storage limit of the actual town bank, you can buy the house. You can buy multiple houses inside of the town, and you can place personal chests inside those houses that can then be, you can put items in, right? I can show you what I mean if you want in just a second. I can teleport to the town that I just moved to. And I can show you, I have a bunch of storage chests inside of a house, inside of the town, to give myself more storage space in that town, which I'm eventually going to remove, but temporarily that's what I've been using it for. Yeah. Now the building in the game is a little wonky. It's kind of frustrating because the camera angles are really bad and stuff like that. The one thing I would say about the building in the game is it needs some work, just like anything else, right? Same thing with the farming. It needs some work. But sorry, lost my train of thought. Give me a second. But basically what it boils down to, you press U, you pull out your altar, you place it within one of these little circles, and then once it's placed inside the circle, which I put mine here, right? You get a little circle and you can build within this circle. Now, as you do tree chopping or combat or whatever within a, like, I think it's like a 10,000 kilometer radius, which is huge. It's like all the way out here. So from like, this is where my thing is. I can go all the way up to like here and still do combat, or I can gather wood or ores or materials, and it gives XP to my altar. And when your altar reaches max XP for its level, you can level it up from level 1 to level 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then at 4 to 5 you have to pay premium currency to go to 5, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But at level 4, let's say you leave it at max, it gets its biggest radius it's going to have, and then you have a big plot, right? So farms like potatoes, carrots, stuff like that have to be placed on the ground. So you kind of want a flat area if you're going to do farming at your altar. But pigs and sheep and stuff can be placed inside of a house. So you have two options. You can make a regular standard size house, and you can put, stuff inside or outside, however you want to do it. And you can make like floors and stuff like that. So in order to move your house, you have to remove your altar, which kills everything. So you have to move all your resources. So not saying you can't move it whenever you want, just saying it's annoying because you have to take all the resources out and then you have to take your town down and then you got to put it down somewhere else and then you got to build another one. Right? You got to move all your stuff back. That's why I was going to show you my town because I had to do that the other day. I had a house that I put right up here. There's a nice flat area next to somewhere I can fish. I was built right here, but there's no fast travel near it. Yes, you can teleport to your town to your altar. You can see altar teleport rights. I have 3, and depending on your weight, it tells you distance to base, current distance to altar, right? So I can only teleport 6,000 meters right now with how much weight I have, and I'm over 6,000 meters or 6 km from my altar. So I can't technically teleport here unless I get closer or I lose some weight. But you see, time remaining for point to be added, 5 hours. It takes 7 hours to generate one teleport part, or 8 hours or something. So in theory, you can only teleport 3 to 4 times a day to your altar. So I decided to move mine closer to a fast travel so I can just fast travel to the fast travel and then run the extra small little bit to my house instead of having to worry about using my house altar teleport. So now there is, I think, in the pay to win shop, I would say there's not really any pay to win in the game, but in here there is a I think there's a house increasement where you can get extra house plots or something like that, but I can't remember exactly. I thought you could have more than one house if you paid money. I can't remember exactly where it is or if there is. But the only pay to win in this game, from what I've gathered or what I can understand, is these buffs, right? So there's 3 buffs in the game, which are kind of like memberships, and you can have all 3 of them simultaneously. So they go on sale all the time for 25 and 50% off for a chunk of all 3 of them, which is a very good deal. Or you can buy them individually under support packs, right? So this one allows for the use of auto potions, which is very useful for combating PvP, things like that. So you don't have to think about manually popping potions and flasks and stuff while you're doing your combat rotations and stuff. This one's very useful for that. It also gives you inventory and storage slots, extra XP to certain things. It's kind of okay, but it's mostly for the auto potion. This one's all about just increasing your EXP gain rates, kind of dog shit other than that. And then the last one is if you're a life skiller like me, you get double resources from woodcutting, harvesting, and mining, and an extra EXP and stuff. This is the one that I purchased. It's about 9,000 tokens, aka, 900 premium currency every 30 days. But like I said, if you do the actual bundles, if you look at it, if they're 900 each, this would technically be like 2670 for all 3 of these for 30 days. But if you buy it 50% off, it's a really good deal. Because then it'd be roughly 1300 for all 3 buffs for 30 days. That's worth it. So if you save up your premium currency, you save up your tokens, you save your premium currency, you wait for this to go 50% off, and you buy this, you can stack tons of these to get like your daily buff or whatever, how many days it's active. You can stack this. You can consume more than one of them, and you can stack these to get lots of them, and don't have to worry about it like for a while, kind of thing. Like I said, if you would prefer to not have to focus on free to play, right? You'd rather just swipe your credit card for 20-30 bucks and just buy a bunch of buffs, and then use your tokens to upgrade your inventory slots and your carry weight and other things. That's possible as well. It'd save you a lot of time. Because if you free to play it like I am, it's going to take you a long time to build up enough tokens and currencies to buy enough buffs. So you have excess tokens to actually focus on inventory and weight. Because inventory is going to be not such a problem, but the weight is going to be a problem. You're going to run out of weight so fast, but your inventory will actually fill up stupid fast when you're doing combat. when you get to the higher level zones. I went to a level 60 party zone the other day. This place right here. And within 5 minutes, I completely filled my inventory. Like all I had on me was like this stuff up here. So I had roughly 50 inventory slots and it was full in less than 5 minutes. It was crazy. Like I had plenty of weight capacity left, but since all the armors and the weapons fill up you like one inventory slot each, you literally completely fill up your inventory in like no time flat. There's also horse breeding. So you got horse breeding where you can breed horses, and that's how you're gonna get like the better tier horses. They have the pet system. So pets you get from combating, and then like so the gray commons, when you get them to level 9, and you basically you have to get 5 more pets because each pet's like +2, whatever. You combine them into it to turn it into a green, and then when the green gets to level 19, you can do it again. You go to blue, and then rinse and repeat all the way to legendary. All right, so let's see. We got, let's double check here. So we got rabbit, tendon, squirrel, bear, deer, wolf, penguin, and hippo. Okay, so we're done with this. So that can go away. Now we have harvesting to work on, which is pretty easy. We just need, I think we need the sweet root. And a lily. And the rest should be in the desert. Yeah, we need the daisies for both of those. We need 1 rose for that. We need a couple of sparks. And then we need some sulfur, cobalt, and we'll be good. Alright, so we need to go and find some more sweet root. Most annoying one to find. We got lucky. Just a couple right here. Okay, so the class system is similar to, I would say, Throne and Liberty, if I had to closely match it. So the way it works is you can play all the classes. You're not class locked. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm playing a warrior or I'm playing a witch, right? You are a generic character that can play any class in the game and you can switch whenever you want. But you have to use the weapon in combat to give it XP, to give it talent points. Okay. So it needs to have talent points to be able to spend towards leveling up a skill. But to level it up, you need to also have a talent point plus a book, right? So as it levels up, you need better quality books. So eventually you'll need blue books, eventually you'll need purple books, and so on to level it up higher and higher. But you also need to level up the actual weapon by combating with it to get unused points to be able to level them. So it's a combo deal. I have to let my dog out just a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, come on. All right, back. So yeah, so basically all it boils down to is like if I wanted to go, because I'm using a life staff. Okay, so put it in perspective. I use a life staff, aka a ranged weapon. You can use an arcane staff, you can use a bow, you can use crossbow, whatever you want to use, whatever is your personal preference. The bow and the crossbow, you have to actually have arrows and you have to have bolts on you to actually use. Kind of tedious and annoying, but they are really strong weapons. So they do have a good usage and a good reason. But I use the life staff just because it doesn't require me to have ammunition, and it gives me the ability to have ranged attacks when I'm doing my harvesting and things like that. Because when you're fighting certain animals like rabbits or deer or whatever, they run from you. And if you're trying to use melee, you'll never catch them. So I highly recommend that you have if you're doing any type of profession stuff, you have a ranged weapon to use specifically for hunting. So that's why you see me having the life staff on, even though I'm not a life staff user. I'm a axe user. But if I want to swap, I literally just swap. If you're not in a safe zone, you have a 100-second cooldown to your skills, but you can just swap, right? And like I said, you just level it up by using it in combat, and then you get the books from farming combat or buying from other players, and that's it. It's literally all it takes. All right, so we're good here. All right, so we're good, 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 and good. We need the one lily, which is right here. And then we can go to the desert. Don't need this. Or this. All right, desert time. I'm gonna go pee. Be right back. For a second. All right, back. That are almost 24 hours. Nice. That's huge. That's huge. Congrats. Yeah, I'm glad you're having fun with it. Also UFO, they do have a lot of stuff like inspired from BDO, right? Like I said, they have a lot of professions. They have sea merchanting, so you can trade stuff on the sea. It's not like bartering. It's like it's like trade system where you buy something in one town and then you bring it to another town and you get money from turning it in. And you can be combated doing that by pirates. You can be a pirate as well. But they also have a lot of like sea creatures. You can kill whales, you can kill krakens. There's world bosses, right? And there's a kraken that spawns like every so often, right? So this one right here will spawn in 1 hour and 18 minutes. And then on over here it'll be 3 hours and another 8 hours. And they have these world bosses that spawn on timers as well. So you have the open world sea creature kraken fight that happens multiple times a day. You also have whales that you can kill. You have regular like dragons in the water, like water dragons and stuff that you can deal with. There's a lot of different things like that you can deal with. There's turtles that have resources on their back. There's lost treasure, lost boats and things like that. And then, like I said, you can get into sea battles on the PvP servers, and you can combat people on the sea, which can be pretty fun if you are interested in that kind of thing. All right, so this is done. Now we just need sparks and daisies. And then if we come across some cobalt and sulfur, we'll pick those up as well. But they're also adding in a worker system. They're adding in a castle siege system, and they're adding in territory control system. So as a guild, you can own territory by taking it over and warring for it, and you have to hold that territory against other, potential guilds. So once again, another aspect from BDO. And other games are similar that have similar features, but like it's like a BDO feature more or less. And then the worker system, once again, another like similar feature to BDO. And the Castle Siege thing, I think, is kind of different than BDO, but I mean, you know, obviously it's coming from another game. But they're adding all that stuff in. They're going to be revamping the quest line down the line. They're adding a marriage system for some apparent reason. And like, you know, they're just tinkering, man. They're tinkering hard, and I think they're doing a really good job and adding a lot of things that I think people are gonna love. They need time. You know, they need time to cook. They need time to add the content. They need time to polish the content. Like I said, they were in alpha, like early access alpha for like a year, and it was really bad. But in that year, they have progressed leaps and bounds. And then they came out in February, right after the whole Ashes of Creation debacle and New World debacle. And they're like, hey, full release, here you guys go. Game is in a much more playable state now. It runs well, it looks good, plays well. People are pretty happy with it now. The problem is, like I said, they don't have enough people to work on aspects of the game simultaneously. So it's one man doing all the work. So they can't really work on full game polishment and quality of life additions while they're working on adding content. So that is the kind of dilemma they're at right now. They are doing some quality of lives and some polishments, but it's not as much as you would hope for. Since, like I said, their main focus is adding the different systems that they want into the game. So there's that problem. And once you get past that and you can get used to the little quirks of the game and the unrefinement slash unpolishment of some of the aspects of the game, if you can get past that stuff and you can get used to it, the game is actually phenomenal. I would say I don't know what kind of content you're interested in, whether it's PvE or PvP, but I would definitely say if you're interested in PvP, this game is for you. If you're interested in PvE, like player versus environment, dungeons and raids and stuff, it's severely lacking currently, other than life skills, professions. Because the dungeons are basically non-existent and fucking horseshit and not worth even. I mean, it's worth putting time into them, but they're just fucking boring and stupid. But they don't really have anything else. They have a couple world bosses, and that's about it. Everything else is all PvP like centric and oriented, and they've put a lot of good work into that. But that is their main focus, is making this like a primary PvP based game. So if you're interested in PvP, I would highly recommend either making your own guild or joining a good guild, getting into guild versus guild content and territory control and raiding people on PvP channels and stuff like that. Like I would get interested into that stuff if that's your cup of tea. So because that's where like most of the content is being done. But if you ever have any questions, you ever have any concerns, you ever want to ask something, feel free. It doesn't have to be about this game. It can be about any game. We do have a Discord. We do have a VODs channel as well. So if you want to catch up on things that I've done or streams or whatever, rewatch something, you know, feel free. Check those out as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Dig, that you can play multiple playthroughs by like because of the save file. That's pretty sick. So you can do like challenge runs and stuff if you really wanted to. Try out different things. Yeah, exactly, Dig. That's kind of like the way I look at it. There is a few things that are just like, bro, why is that even a problem? Like, why is that even like an issue? Like, that shouldn't even be on our fucking radar. Like, we shouldn't even have to think about this stuff. This stuff shouldn't even be. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I can't hit escape, right? That shouldn't even be a thing. That should just be fixed. So there's some things that are just annoying, but everything that I've run across isn't game breaking. The game is completely playable. It's just frustrating. It's like, oh, I want to split this stack, but I have to do like 10 different actions just to split this stack. Or, oh, I want to put my farm plots down, but I'm off by a pixel, so now I can't get this in where I want. And like, it's just tedious things like that. It's like, or you're personal chests don't have a fill from inventory button. Once again, just a stupid, tedious thing that just shouldn't be a problem. Once again, not that it's game breaking. It's not that it doesn't make the game playable. It just makes it stupid. Makes it more tedious than it needs to be. Kind of annoying more than it is anything. So hopefully I answered all your questions, UFO. If you have more, feel free to ask. Like I said, there is the Discord. You do exclamation mark Discord in the chat. It'll pop up for you. You can always join that. So if you ever have questions when I'm offline or, you know, not streaming or whatever, you know, that's the easiest place to ask. We can always answer your questions whenever I'm awake at my computer. But I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. I'm glad you're gonna try the game out. Let me know how you like it. And like I said, doesn't matter whose you use, but use somebody's creator code or, you know, code in general. It's not really a creator code. Everybody gets one, but yeah, use the referral code. Help somebody out. Doesn't matter who it is, because it also helps you. So Daisy, just do a dollop of Daisy. So we've almost discovered, or uncovered, I should say, the whole desert area, which is kind of nice. Not gonna lie. We'll grab some cobalt really quick. This is probably where our inventory just like gets absolutely jam-packed full and all right, so I think we need one more sulfur. We need some more daisy. And I think we have some coal back at base, so I'm not worried about that. We can just grab the coal from base. And then the last thing we need to do is a little bit of chopping. I think we're done with our tokens for the day. Need some more damn daisies. I wonder if that guy got banned from yesterday that I found botting in the desert. Alright, we need the 32 daisy stems. Yep, need to get to 32 of these stems. They're just taking a while. Alright, we need 2 more procs. 1 more proc. 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 Come on. Yeah. Bro, what the fuck? They gave me 6? That's actually insane. Alright, we need 1 more sulfur proc. Let's just give it a little runnage this way. See if we can find a quick sulfur proc. At least sulfur's kind of noticeable from distance, unlike the plants. Might be sulfur. Actually, it might be gold. That's sulfur. Okay. So we did pretty well. We went from here to here. We got this section unlocked. Like tomorrow we can come here and we can try and get the rest of this unlocked. And we just got that to do, and the desert is done. Let's go turn all these in. Yeah, UFO, if you're still chilling, my friend, I'm about to turn in these tokens, and you can kind of see what I mean.
Would you like a cup of water?
Oh, just
You look
hydrated. All
thirsty
right,
as
thanks.
fuck right now.
All right, now I'm officially empty. Like, you have the timing sometimes. I take a drink, and then you hit me with hydrate right after. Kind of funny. I don't mind. It's just kind of funny. All right. So, yeah, just turn these in. This is why I take a screenshot of it, so I can just do them all at one time. Oh, there's those 10. So that gave me 80. The most of them give you 8 except for the wood chopping guy. The wood chopping guy gives you either 4 or 6 per. Then here's another 80. And we did the farm animals best we could. We did the fishing best we could. We did the farm plots. Pretty sure we finished the farm plots as well. Farming guy. Then we got mining. Oh, I didn't pull out the mining stuff. So we can't do the coal without pulling it out, and we can't do this one, I don't think. So we need to go pick up a few of these and a few coal out of the bank, and then we got to go and chop trees. So from inventory, which is so bad, sometimes it just doesn't work. All right, so this should be full, this should be full, those should be full. That's full. Okay, so we can go with that. So this goes back to base. These go back to base. These can be. We can leave some in here, I guess. I don't know, in case we need them. We normally don't because we get it every day anyway. So we'll just leave it in there just in case, though. Yeah, fuck it. These can all be sold. These can be put into bank. This can be sold. And this needs to go to our storage. All right, we needed 16 of these. And 16 of these. That takes care of those two, and then we'll just go and do our chopping really quick. We need 6. Next is 16 greenwood, which would be 32, 64, and 96. 96 greenwood today. Alrighty. Should have done this. I didn't have inventory space for it, but I'm saying I should have done this by my house. I need the XP for the house. I need to get it to level 4 so I can start building my property. But we can do that today. Actually, I'm torn because I need to get to 50 wood cutting. I need to get to 50 harvesting, and I need to get to 50 hunting. But the penguin's nowhere near the house because the house needs a level. We could do the jackals so we don't have to farm them out whenever we need them. Yo, Jess, what's going on? Vest and the Jest, welcome in. Thanks for that follow. I appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Appreciate you chiming on in. How you doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Vest, I'm playing Ironman. If that wasn't apparent by the title, which basically means I have to do everything myself. Now, there's nothing wrong with being in a clan. No, I can be in a clan with other people, but there's no way, if I'm in a clan with other people, there's no way for me to say, hey, I did this by myself. Because then I can take resources from other players. I can trade things, you know, I can use the farming plots on the clan place. I could, you know, it makes it kind of it muddies the water in a way to where it seems like I could be helped, right? Now, if I host my own guild and I have the permissions off so no one can do anything, it does work. It does work. I can definitely do it. As I said, I can make my own guild, but I'm not going to be in a red zone. I'm not going to take the possibility of being raided, have my stuff taken. I don't PvP, so I just moved my house yesterday, which is why I was saying I need to level it. I moved it over to here, so now I need to level it back up. So that's like, it's not hard to level. It won't take me, but like I could probably do it tonight, honestly. It doesn't take long to level it. And I honestly just don't care about the extra XP you get from being near the house. It doesn't really mean much to me. But yeah, getting a guild and getting the benefits from the guild I need to do. I just haven't got around to it. It is. It's a lot. And I'm going to. It's just in situation. So my main focus right now just is I do my token farm every day, right? So right now I'm finishing my token farm, which means the last thing I'm doing right now is my wood chopping. So I need to get 96 green wood. Once I have that, I'm gonna turn them in, and then I'm free for the last 2 hours of stream to do whatever I want. And my next goal is to get my wood chopping, harvesting, and hunting to 50 so I can use advanced tools. And I'm gonna do this near my house to level it, because once I get it back to level 4, I'm gonna actually build my house, and then I'm gonna work towards getting my my blacksmithing to 30 so I can actually craft my advanced tools. That's my next sub goal, right? But farming currency has been a problem since I'm not really combating. So making currency is kind of limited to fishing right now, selling my algae. Yeah, I mean, the quest is different, right? I mean, moving your altar means you have to re-level it, and you have to like store your resources and then move your resources around. That can be tedious and annoying. I wouldn't want to be moving my altar all that much. But like I said, if I make a guild, I can do guild quests to make money, right? So that could help with like money consumptions and concerns. So I can actually afford like the PV, or I can afford the life skilling buff every day. I mean, but that's the thing. I don't want to have to move it all the time, right? Because yeah, you put it in place so you get the EXP buff, right? Like that's the goal. Um, but at the same time, like I kind of feel like yes, the EXP buff is worth it, but that's just tedious. I'm a person that I don't min max, right? I never min max. I'm not trying to sit here and put on deodorant to be sweating my ass off to try and play the most min max perfect play style ever using the best metas in the world and be like, oh, you can get 7,000 XP an hour just doing this method here, but you got to do this, click this, click that, got to move in this direction, quack 3 times, bark around, spinning like a dog, and like I don't want to do all that. If I can get 5,000 XP an hour just by like AFKing, I'm gonna do that. Like I don't care, right? So the fact that I'm not making as much XP as I can because I'm not using a clan altar, sure, fine. It's gonna take me hundreds of hours longer than everybody else, but I don't really care all that much. I'm having fun. At the end of the day, games are meant to have fun, and if I'm having fun, then I'm not playing the game wrong, right? Yeah, it's a nuts difference. I'm not gonna lie with you. Like I said, right now I'm barely making money. Because like I said, since I'm not selling things to players and I'm not combating to kill mobs to sell the materials to NPCs and stuff like that to make money, I'm barely making money. So I can't afford to use the profession buff the whole time I'm online, right? Because I'll have no money. But if I make the guild for the 12 mil I do have, which I should do, I can then do guild quests to make money when I'm online and stuff. And then I can use that money for profession buffs to level my professions faster. And then, like you said, having the EXP boost for doing it near my altar can help me level my stuff faster. Like I said, I moved it over here because I wanted it near a fast travel. But this allows me to do high level mining. When I do my high level mining, it allows me to do low level mining as well. It allows me to do trees. It allows me to do harvesting. And it also allows me to do hunter because I have peacocks, which are easy. I have jackals, which are easy. Obviously, I can go all the way out to roughly here because it's like a 15-kilometer radius that you can go out to. So I have level 60 party I can fight in. I don't know if this is in range, but that would be like a level 100 I could farm in. I have regular level 60 mobs that I can fight here. This might be in range as well. But then I have like a lot of hunter stuff I can do as well. I have a lot of mining I can do. I can do my husbandry. I can do my farming. I can do everything in this circle, and it's fine. And if I just put my guild one down next to it, then 100% worth it, right? I feel like that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Yeah, I mean, leveling my weapon's fine, but I haven't, like, I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this. I haven't put a single book into it. They're all level 1 skills. They use a dual axe, so I don't have to use auto potions or anything like that, and I don't have to use potions. I just use the dual axe for simplicity's sake. And you're not wrong. I could, since I'm not gonna like store anything at the guild place, I could put my guild in the red zone, right? So I could put my guild one, just plop it down like right here and just call it a day. That's not a bad option because then it overlaps with what I'm doing. Or I can put it over here, right? Put my guild one here and then give me the little extra boost from it being in a PvP zone. Can people actually destroy my altar though? Like I know they can raid your base and stuff, but can they actually destroy the altar so I have to replace the altar? Or is it just that they can raid your materials and stuff in your chests and whatnot? Because if all I have to do is just put down a basic bitch ass altar and I don't have to worry about it, then that's fine. Let's turn in the mining one and then we're done with our tokens for the day. I need to get to Addy and Myth eventually. Alright, so since that's all done, we can head back to base. And I don't think I want to do wood cutting first. Because I'm going to end up with way too much wood. I think what we'll do first is... I don't really want to do peacocks, but we can do jackals. We can do jackals and we can farm up a bunch of jackals because those are relatively tedious. I hate coming out here to just farm them specifically, so we'll do those first. Fuck that one up. But yeah, we'll do the jackals. We can farm them for a little while. If we can get to level 50, that means we can do rhinos going forward. And we'll be prepped for advanced tools when we start working towards that again. Alright, so let's head this way, find the jackal. I don't like that I don't get XP from catching the animals. I only get XP from like harvesting them, kind of. They're over there.